guest, Mr. Galadima, joins us from Abuja studio. Mr. Galadima, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for having me on this program.
Okay, I'm trying to. I see what you're doing there. You haven't paid us for that commercial, but I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide, Mr. Galadima. So, in rather very quick succession, from NNPP to ADC and now to NDC, it arouses curiosity. And there were reasons given by Mr. Peter Obi as well as Mr. Kwankwaso, both former governors and former presidential candidates in different political parties. And the next election, they seem to be pairing to face the president. What really happened that Nigerians need to know that led to the collapse of what was looking like a strong coalition? Initially, coalition was a bit taken for granted, but somehow all of the persons were able to get 6.1, 6.9, 1 point something million votes, came together, and it was beginning to look like, well, we're beginning to look like a coalition that will give President Tinubu a run for his money. And now everything has collapsed. What happened?
Well, Jeff, I presume that's Jeff?
Yes, that's me. My name is Jeff.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And all Nigerians know that we are living in difficult times these days in the political front, that the government of the day and the ruling party decided to make Nigeria a one-party state. And in that effect, they want to assure themselves that the only way they can win election is to have a single candidate, that is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They are allergic to democratic competition. So they have gone to town, in our own estimation, to destroy all political parties. They destroyed the NNPP, they destroyed the LP, that's the Labour Party, on which both Kwankwaso and Mr. Peter Obi had run in 2023. They wanted to disenfranchise them, and they congregated in the ADC with the hope. And that congregation in the ADC was the making of the president and the government itself. Because if not for what they did, I don't think some of those gladiators will ever come under the same roof. However, all that is history. Any sensible Nigerian, every intelligent Nigerian should know that the judgment of Justice Joyce Abdul Malik on Wednesday last week and the judgment of the Supreme Court on Thursday last week has completely disenfranchised the ADC as a viable political vehicle for the 2027 elections. Therefore, but I think I need to say something here, even though it is extremely confidential, that even before these judgments, some good Samaritans have, during our sniffing to find out what is happening, had advised us that we should better look for another platform. Why? Because they said that they don't think this judgment would be favorable to us, and that the ADC would be an available vehicle for contest in the 2027 election. So, we being wise politicians as we are, and being masters of this game, started to look for alternatives, and now await the judgment. And that judgment came on Wednesday. That was the first salvo fired by Justice Joyce Abdul Malik. And for anybody to now know or think that a high court judge will pronounce judgment on an issue that is before the Supreme Court, you know that something is wrong. And that you better pick race if you have the legs to run. So we waited for the Thursday judgment. That happened. So we now started reaffirming our position to look for an alternative. And it is this alternative that culminated in us yesterday, the principals declaring for NDC party. So, and I would want to say categorically on this program that we had asked some of our allies in the ADC to really pick race and look for an alternative platform, because the judgments have sown a booby trap for all those that will be trapped in it. And so, I even want
Mr. Galadima, if I may comment,
any wise politician...
Yes. My apologies, sir. If you can answer,
wise politician...
Just a moment, sir. Because of time, I want to ask as many questions as possible. So, it calls to question the ability of the politicians themselves to be able to have foresight to see where the coast is clear or where the coast... At what point did you discover there were cracks? Because this is what you're saying on TV and what has been written out. But some people are saying, for instance, for Peter Obi, for instance, especially the APC, are saying he shies away from contest. That happened in PDP, for instance, in the People's Democratic Party. When he realized he couldn't get the ticket, he went to the Labour Party, and it was easy for him. And then when there were issues in the Labour Party, now he went to the ADC. Now seeing the handwriting on the wall, perhaps now saying that, oh, maybe this contest may not favor me, whether it's consensus or primary, he has now left. And then your principal has now been put in the same boat. Is this about litigation or inability to be able to foster some level of political maneuvering to get the ticket of the party?
Is it about ticket? The vehicle is not available by the judgment. We didn't leave until there was a judgment setting a booby trap for everybody within the ADC. And this is why we are using this opportunity to call on the remnants of our comrades still in the ADC to come to NDC, where we will have a level playing ground. We are all joiners within a day, and where primaries would be held. And I'm particularly calling on former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to jump ship and come to the NDC, such that there would be a level playing ground for everybody, because all of us are now joining at about the same time, such that there will be a free, fair, and transparent and level playing ground for contest to get the ticket of the NDC. And whosoever refuses to do that means he's the enemy of Nigeria by refusing, by scattering the unity of the opposition political parties and their ability to unseat President Bola Tinubu.
Mr. Galadima, let me ask you, my apologies, sir. I did say that I want to ask you as many questions as possible, so I may be butting in intermittently. Bear with me. So, do you think that the NDC, for instance, is very okay right now for anybody to come in? Because I say that, I think the AGA, they say they are going to sue INEC over it for their registration. I think there was another case by the AGF also, if I stand to be corrected, about the registering some political parties as well. So, are they free of litigation issues? This NDC?
As we speak now, NDC is very clean and as white as the snow, no encumbrance on it. And if anybody is suing INEC and does not suing INEC does not mean that he's suing the NDC. So that one is an issue for another day, because as far as we are concerned, we did our due diligence, consulted former judges, consulted very, very highly intelligent and resourceful lawyers, SAN, and they told us that as far as we are concerned, we are good to go. That is why everybody who wants to run for election, NDC is the vehicle to approach for now.
All right, Mr. Galadima.
Hold on. That does not rule the fact that this government and APC cannot try some funny things. But we are there waiting for them.
Well, as a politician, you should know by now that preparing for sabotage, if there is any, is part of how you prepare for the war. So, complaining about sabotage may not be a very genius idea with greatest sense of respect, because if it happens, it has happened. You must
We
look
are
for it
not
to fight it.
complaining. We are saying that from whichever angle they come, we've done our due diligence. We are prepared for them, and if there is justice, we know we will prevail.
All right, Mr. Galadima, let me ask you a straight question. So, we don't have time. I mean, the election in general, you have just about a few days to submit membership. That's NDC now, because you just joined, so I'm sure your name will be listed. That will be submitted to INEC in the next maybe 4 or 5 days to INEC. What is the position of NDC in terms of the presidential election? Is there going to be zoning? That's one question. Number two, is it going to be by consensus or primary? Because you don't have the luxury of time.
Well, I don't know whether you are saying election. I'm talking about primaries.
That's what I'm saying.
That's our major issue now before us. Primaries. The NDC will submit its register either on the 5th or on the 6th of this month. That is either tomorrow, Tuesday, or on Wednesday. So once we do that, we are good to go, and we will have zoned the party's presidential candidature to the south. No mincing words. We've zoned it to the south. Therefore, whoever from the south, if Jeff wants to run, please go and register quickly today or tomorrow. Such that your name gets into the register.
I'm not interested. Like, you're the 3rd, 3rd or 4th politician dragging me into politics. I'm a journalist. I like my job. My job is to check the politicians. I'm not interested. But let me also ask you, Mr. Galadima, I'm going to come back to this question within the time we have. Isn't it, what is going on with the opposition? Isn't it playing into the hands of the ruling party? Because I'll tell you the highlights since 1999. There are several highlights politically. One of the highlights of 1999 till today is that in 2007 or so, PDP had about 28 governors. So whatever the APC is doing today is just imagine higher than what the PDP is doing in terms of governors. In 2015, it took a merger to unseat an incumbent like Goodluck Jonathan. And in 2023, we saw the first time a man without structure was able to cause an upset to get 6.1 million votes. Where am I going to with all of this? The only model available to unseat a ruling party, if that is possible, is not by a divided, broken house into pieces like what happened in 2023. Now it looks like with the movement of Kwankwaso and Peter Obi leaving Atiku in the ADC, is clearly Uhuru for President Bola Tinubu. Are you looking at it that way?
Well, not quite. The truth of the matter is that all of us, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, all of them migrated into the ADC such that they bring a unity of the opposition forces within the ADC to enable them without much problem unseat Tinubu. Unfortunately, there are this insinuation that the APC and the government, in fact, by extension, Tinubu used the courts to scuttle the opposition. This is why I am making this call on Vice President Atiku Abubakar to follow us as we followed him into the ADC, such that there will be a unity of the opposition to unseat this government. And if he refuses, then whatever happens to the opposition, Vice President Atiku will be held responsible.
I didn't get that clearly, just a moment. But in closing,
you just wanted clarity. The clarity is that all the political gladiators are now in the ADC. And if anybody is outside, as Kwankwaso was outside in the ADC and he was persuaded to come in. So we are also pleading with Vice President Atiku Abubakar to come into the NDC such that we can consolidate again and remove the incumbent government. That is what I'm saying.
Mr. Galadima,
if he refuses to that, hold on now. And if he refuses to do that, then the ball is in his court, because he has now scuttled the unity of the opposition to unseat this government. Because he cannot continue beyond tomorrow to be in the ADC, or else he has agreed now to forfeit his right to contest in this election in 2027.
Mr. Buba Galadima, always a delight to have you on the program. I don't have much time again on the program, totally because of... we will have you back. The question I wanted to ask you that I don't have the... It was to ask you how you intend to unseat President Tinubu, but that will be for another time. Buba Galadima, how do I describe you now? A chieftain of the NDC. How do you describe yourself, sir?
No, I'm not speaking for the NDC. I'm a freelance politician for now because I've not been appointed a spokesperson of the NDC.
Okay, you're the second freelance politician after Bala Mohammed, Governor. Mr. Galadima, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.